Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chamber of Commerce Southern New Jersey and NFL Alumni's webinar entitled Caring for Our Own for Kids and Caring for Our Communities. My name is Meredith Laurelier, and I am Executive Vice President of the Chamber. Thank you to everyone who has joined us online today to hear from our friends at NFL Alumni. Lee Hall, NFL Alumni's Philadelphia Chapter President, a Super Bowl champion, two-time Pro Bowler, minister, community leader, and business coach. And Michael Wakatama, Vice President of Sales, Philadelphia and South New Jersey at NFL Alumni. Before I turn the program over to Lee and Michael, please allow me to cover a few housekeeping items. At the bottom of your audience console, you will see a chat feature. If you have any questions during the presentation, please submit them in the chat and we will get to them at the end of the program. An on-demand version of this presentation will be sent to our attendees later today and will also be available on the Chamber's website. With that, please allow me to welcome Lee and Michael. Gentlemen.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our NFL Alumni Philadelphia Chapter introductory call. We dubbed this Caring for Our Own, Caring for Kids, and Caring for Our Communities. And next slide. Well, one of the things that, we're going to do is kind of go over a few things about who we are, and what we do. We have Lee Woodall, who's our NFL Alumni Philadelphia Chapter President on the call, and myself, Michael, Vice President of Sales, just sales for Philadelphia and South Jersey. So, Lee, you want to say anything first? Warm welcome.
Yes, thank you for having us today. I'm looking forward to it. And we're just having a good time today. And we're going to be making a certain speeches and talking and seeing what we can talk about. We got some things going on for you today. So let's all put on our seatbelts and enjoy the ride.
Great, thanks, Lee. Next slide. So I get the privilege of once again introducing Lee. You know, he is, yes, a Super Bowl champion with the San Francisco 49ers, two-time Pro Bowler, NFL Alumni Board member, minister, community leader, business coach, and on the bottom there I put something from my brownie points called, and said he's a pretty awesome guy. So I've had great time working with Lee. He's been great to me personally, professionally, even with my family. So I'm really honored and privileged to have the ability to work under him and learn through him. Next slide. And a little bit about me. I'm responsible for bringing the mission of the NFL Alumni in the areas that we serve and execute these initiatives, with our membership and our business partners. I have over 30 years of high-level business development and sales management experience across a variety of different industries. So real estate, telecom, and so forth. The one thing that I mentioned is that I have never played one organized down of football. So even though you see a football jersey behind me, that's my son. He's 14. I have never played. So when you see me in public, please, don't think you're going to score brownie points by taking a selfie with me. But nonetheless, I'm really, really excited to be a member of the NFL Alumni team. Next slide, please. So, who is the NFL Alumni? I've probably spent, outside of the last 3 months, probably prior to February, lots of time in the community, going to networking events, meeting a lot of different people. And everyone asks me, or I've been asked rather, well, who is the NFL Alumni? Like, you see the logo, you kind of make a relationship with alumni being former players, but nobody really knows who we are. So to give you, a high-level overview, we are a nonprofit organization founded in 1967. The organization was founded by former players with a dual mission, and that mission comes with caring for our own, which really was speaking to former players as they were coming off of the field, networking and working with one another to help themselves navigate post-play careers, and also those who needed help, internally to help one another. And really through the notoriety of that, we also saw that the organization was, getting involved with a lot of philanthropic efforts that really come under the umbrella of caring for kids. So we'll go to the next slide and you can learn a little bit more. So what does the NFL Alumni do? NFL Alumni executes its mission through the activities of its 37 chapters across the country. We have chapters that pretty much mirror the locations of where we have NFL football teams, but not necessarily all in all. We currently operate with a headquarter office based out of Mount Laurel, New Jersey. And I put there, it's not at the Films office, we're in a different office. And we also have a soon to come world-class facility next off our headquarters or formal headquarters at the Hall of Fame Village in Canton, Ohio. I'll talk a little bit about that later. Let's move to the next one. Next slide, please, por favor. So how does the NFL Alumni Association execute its mission? Simply put, for years, the NFL Alumni has been involved in a host of endeavors and community-based initiatives which allow the NFL Alumni and its partners to be a dependable resource in each of our communities. To name a few of these things that we've done in the past, we've had golf tournaments, we've had athletic camps for children, we've hosted fundraising luncheons and dinners, and we also have events at both the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl. And then we also have support other nonprofits whose mission really has alignment with ours. We'll go to the next couple slides and there's just some photos of different things that you can see. One event, now down here we have an event that we had to postpone, and hopefully our golfing endeavors will continue at another point, but we have our Super Bowl of Golf, which is really where the chapter presidents come for a national meeting, and over in Pinehurst in North Carolina. It's a invitation only event, but a great time for those who are invited and for our sponsors to be able to interact with different members and chapter presidents of the NFL Alumni. I also added in here, an event that we had to temporarily postpone, which was our charity event that was going to be held at Downingtown Country Club. I'm sure as we all know, the pandemic has really kind of put a wrinkle in a variety of organizations, different plans. Our organization was no exception. Next slide, please. And we also host athletic camps for children. And these camps are pretty much navigated through the chapters individually. And, my son, like I said, he's 14. He had a chance to participate in the camp last year. He's a little bit bummed out that he cannot participate in the camp this year because, once again, we're navigating our COVID world. Next slide, please. And fundraising luncheons and dinners. So through the course of the year, different chapters and also through our national office, we do a variety of different events to support different causes or different organizations. And we do these through luncheons, dinners, usually with items that we have for silent auctions. We usually have player appearances. So it really creates a great environment and a nice way for us to be able to tap into our community and really be involved and, be able to give something back. Final slide on this part of it here. Oh, this is second to final. So this is just a glimpse of some of the stuff that we do with our Pro Bowl or Super Bowl events. We have last year, not this year, in Miami, earlier this year, we hosted a variety of different events. We had a private concert hosted by JBL. We had a bruncheon that was exclusive for NFL alumni, former players sitting down and a panel discussion. We also hosted a couple of different events throughout the whole Super Bowl weekend experience. And once again, we do these events, since we are a nonprofit, we do these for the benefit of the charities and the causes that we support. And then the next slide here. So who do we partner with in other local nonprofits? Some of you may have heard of, some of you may not, but Maternity Care Coalition was one. Ronald McDonald House, Philadelphia, another. Jaden's Voice. and the Philadelphia Food Bank of South Jersey. So the picture you see there to the right is that was actually taken. That's myself, Fred Baxter, who's a former player and an alumni member, and also Frank Plum, who many of you know from probably know from Workforce. This photo was taken about a week and a half before we got shut down. And the oddity of it is that we were really, we were starting our relationship with Food Bank of South Jersey and did not realize that what was imminent on us, that, food security was going to become a huge issue. We're happy to partner with them. And we actually have a big event with them next week at a food distribution center. Lee, do you want to jump in and talk about any of these partners that we have?
Yes, we have many partners. These are some of the ones that you see here. And these partners, we believe in partnering with people, but we believe in gathering a relationship. There's one thing to partner with people, but it is also to gather a relationship that lasts. We're not getting in this. We don't partner with people just to say, oh, hello, we're just doing charity. What we love to do is to partner with you and to also make sure that you're a part of us, that even when people move positions and move seats, because presidents don't always stay presidents, as you know, and just having that relationship that carries on so that we're actually having synergy with one another. So that's what we're looking forward to. Also, we're just an organization who our motto is caring for kids and caring for our own. And that means that you're a part of our own, regardless of if you haven't had a relationship with us or you want a relationship with us. We consider our communities, we take our communities very serious, and we're looking forward to, with things that are going on today and around the world, we're looking to build our communities and also make them stronger, and also give our children an opportunity, because our children will be running the future later on.
Awesomely, thank you. And let's move over to the next slide. We're going to shift gears a little bit. So, as Lee mentioned, we are, the mission of the alumni, and as I mentioned earlier, is, caring for our own, caring for kids, and really, we, through the course of what has taken place over the last few months, we've really adopted a position of understanding that, we are our community. And like Lee mentioned, our community can be our former players, it can be our children, it can be our mothers, our fathers, brothers and sisters. We all are in that singular or larger universe. In response to COVID, we had started to, we were forced to look at different ways that we could serve our community. Golf tournaments were gone, luncheons and dinners were gone. The different other events that we had planned with the draft and all types of different things, those were gone. So we, as an organization that is a nonprofit, we still feel the need to be able to cater to our community. And, we've created different programs where we are providing PPE to our heroes who continue to work on the front lines. We are providing essentials for families who have had members who have been affected by COVID-19, providing assistance to families who've experienced loss, providing additional educational resources for children who may have experienced difficulty transitioning to remote learning. I know my son also, he struggled in the beginning. Fortunately, he navigated well towards the end, but it was a challenge for all of us, including the parents. And speaking to the social issues that we have going on in the world, we also have a change campaign, and I'm going to divert back to Lee for just a moment here, because as a former player, I think Lee is, and a member of our board, I think Lee is probably the best person that we can have to kind of talk, not just to the other 4 points, but also to the change campaign.
All right. Now that we got all that stuff out the way and we're ready to loosen up, let's loosen up and let's get ready to have fun. That was the technical part, finding out about the NFL alumni, finding out what's going on and all that other stuff. I know you'll enjoy it. We'll send you those slides and make sure you have a copy of them so that you know what's going on. And of course, Michael will be the person that you can get in touch with. Well, one of the things we want to talk about, we developed a change campaign. You know, with everything going on today and everything that we're trying to handle and people trying to send the messages out and trying to, you know, what's happening in our communities, what's happened with COVID, you know, everyone's talking about change. And what our change campaign is that we're asking people to voice their opinion about what changes they want. It doesn't matter if you say, I want to change the way my house looks, or I want to change this. It's just being able to have a voice and being able to understand that you are heard and that you can have a voice about changes that you're looking for. You know, a lot of people say they want change, but they're not able to verbalize it into a sentence to make sense, saying, I want change, but what is it? So our change campaign involves having a shirt and basically, and it has a question mark on it, and it says, what change do you want? And when you go there, we say, hey, we're having an NFL alumni change. I support the NFL alumni change campaign. I would like to change whatever that blank is. That's what you fill in with what you want. We're going out and we want this to be a part of our communities because we want people to be heard and we want people to be understood. And it's not just changes for certain things. It's just having a voice and being able to speak it. One thing I want to also talk to you about, because I know today we want to focus on some things, and it's just about having the growth mindset. You know, when I played football, I always had to look at what was my mindset. And one of the biggest things that I had to take a look at is how my mindset was going and where was it going and how was I going to get there? I mean, when you play in the NFL, the biggest thing is your mind, because you have to come up under so much pressure to execute, and you have to be in that mindset that you're always growing and you're almost trying to play a perfect game. And I know a lot of you may watch the game and understand it and have looked at it and have wondered, what do these guys really go through? But it had to be a growth mindset. I mean, if you didn't have a growth mindset, you basically were a player that they would cut because you couldn't see where you had to go in your next steps. But what I wanted to cover today is, so I wanted to encourage you all to have this growth mindset in your businesses and everything else that you do in the community as you're going through things, these with the COVID, with people, with the different messages that are being sent out, with what happened to George Floyd, what's happening in our communities, with everything that's going on. That could be a lot of pressure. But I want you to take a look at, where's my mindset? Where's it going? And how, is it still growing, or is it stagnant, or is it setback? Which way is it going? So what I wanted to do, I wanted to set a goal where we talk about the mindset of offering these mindsets. It's 20 things I want to give you. And if you have a pen and a piece of paper, you might want to take these 20 things down. I'm going to go over them quickly. I'm going to go over them very quickly so that you have them, but I won't go too fast so you miss something. But I want you to understand that these are certain guidelines that you can use in order to have your growth mindset. So the first one we're going to go over is accept imperfection. All of us want to be perfect. I mean, I used to play football. When I played football, I said, I want to be perfect. I had to be perfect. Because guess what? After we left the game, they would go watch the film and say, you messed up. So perfection was in me. But I had to learn that I wasn't perfect. There was going to be some imperfections in me. And those imperfections were my growth. So if there's anything that's in you that says, oh, I may be imperfect, remember, you can grow from that. So you want to take that imperfection and just grow from it. Grow from what may seem to be a setback and what seems to be an imperfection, and grow from it. That's number one. Number two is lean into challenges. COVID-19 is a challenge. Yes, it is. It's a huge challenge. But what we want you to do, we want you to lean into it. And that's what the NFL alumni had to do. We had to really lean into our challenge, because golf tournaments canceled, events canceled. I mean, we had a whole entire year planned, but we had to lean into the challenge and say that we understand what this challenge is. We understand what it's doing, but we can't have the mindset that this challenge will stop us from moving forward in our community and moving forward in the task that we set before us. So in business, some of the businesses that weren't essential got shut down, but then they got reopened. So what you have to do, you have to think beyond that scope, move beyond it, and then know that that challenge, you're going to lean into it and basically make it work. come up with the strategies. Number 3 will be continue to learn. During this time, Michael and I will both tell you, we are continuing to learn. We are learning so much how to overcome obstacles, how to deal with obstacles, and how to make things work. I mean, some of the stuff has been tough. We've been trying to figure it out, but we all took a step back and said, I'm going to continue to learn. That's a learning tool right here. Oh, I learned something new today. Oh, I learned something new this weekend. Oh, I learned that should be spending more time with my family. Oh, I should be spending more time with my spouse. I should take life and enjoy it more. So continue to learn. That's number 3. Number 4 is stay current with the research on neuroplasticity. Ooh, neuroplasticity. That word, it threw me off. I was like, neuroplasticity, what is that? I said, oh, okay, that's one of those big words I better look up. So it's basically dealing with the nerve cells in your brain where it grows mentally. And it just continues to grow as you exercise and you begin to keep thinking and keep reading. Those things begin to keep growth coming in your mind. So it's understanding, staying current with research in neuroplasticity, meaning use your mind. Don't just sit there and let it just sit still, meaning that's what you want to do. In business, may seem like it's frozen, may seem like it's not. Your employees might have lost their job, but think beyond that and keep reading on motivation, keep reading on how to make business work and how to do better marketing and where you want to go with the next step. So understanding that. Number 5 is refrain from perceived failures. Refrain from perceived failures. See, what you call a failure is not really a failure, it's a growth. Look back in life. Everything that we went through put us to where we are. I mean, even I had been in business, had some setbacks, did some things that caused the setback and all this other stuff, but I had to figure out that was some growth in me. That's where it came from. So I was able to grow from it. I mean, that's why I'm able to be a business coach right now, because I have the experience of so many businesses, because when I got out the league, I was like, oh, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. Oh, mistakenly focus. So I had to refrain from perceived failures. It wasn't a failure. It was actually what helped me out today. And now it's helping me out when I do business coaching, because it lets me look at things from a broader standpoint, which Michael and I have been working with businesses and putting these things together and saying, hey, we have this, we can come in and do speeches. We can come in and come in and look at your whole game plan and talk to you of how you can gain $10,000 to $100,000 in less than 45 minutes. And we've shown people, but the amazing part is that we refrain from our perceived failures. We didn't let that cause us to fail. We said, let's go, let's get up, let's help out the NFL alumni, let's help out our community. So we kept going. The number 6 is, and I probably won't get through all 20 today, so you're gonna have to call me back. And then when I get back, I'll go to 10 today. How about that, Michael? We'll go to 10. But when you call me back for the other 10, we'll make it work. I promise I'll make it work. But I'm gonna give you 10 today, just for today. Number 6 is, instead of seeking approval from others, seek it from yourself. Instead of seeking approval from others, seek it from yourself. You know, sometimes when I was playing football and I won the Super Bowl my rookie year, I thought that, oh, this is supposed to happen this way every year. Oh, this is going to be, if I'm on the same team, I got the same players, this is going to happen just next year again. Oh, great. Well, there were some changes. Some major changes, and I got woke up pretty quickly. The next year we didn't win, the next year we didn't win, the next year we didn't win, and the people that beat us won the Super Bowl. It was so amazing, but we made it to the championship a couple of years. So instead of seeking approval from others, seek it from yourself. So what I had to do, I was so caught up on what my coaches thought, and some of us are caught up on what everybody else thinks, but we miss what we think of ourselves and how we think of ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. You know, that's a big key, especially in business and especially in nonprofit or anything you do. You concentrate on the approval of others, but sometimes that can get you in trouble, because when they disapprove you, you disapprove yourself also. You tell yourself, yep, that's true. But you need to think about approving, seek it in yourself. How do you approve yourself? How do you feel about your business? How do you feel about where it's going? How do you feel about the pandemic. How do you feel about these things? How are you going to change it? How are you going to navigate it? Because it changes your income, the way you look, the way you think about things, the way the money comes in, and all these things. But guess what? These are growth moments. These are growth moments. So in these moments, if you can survive through this, guess what? That means you're probably surviving through a lot of other things. And success is going to be one of those things that is going to be on your side. I promise you. Number 7, instead of focusing on the end, focus on the process. Man, I had to pause on that one because guess what? Instead of focusing on the end, focus on the process. I'm telling you, when I played in the Super Bowl, and you guys may have seen this, it's funny, but when I played in the Super Bowl, I came from a small school, Division II school, Westchester. Most games we played was 11. I get to the pros, and I didn't make it to the playoffs at Westchester. It's Division II. Hey, yeah, we did the best we could, but I still made it. But the thing is, when I get to the pros, what happened was the season was so long, I was looking at the end. I was like, oh my God. I wasn't even looking at the process. I was like, I had to play in all 4 preseason games. And I didn't get to come out because I was a rookie and they was teaching me and I was with a bunch of Hall of Fame guys. So I had to stay in. So that was 4 games to me. They said it was just preseason. I said, yeah, because you guys are on the bench at the first quarter. I'm playing all 4 every game. So then I had 4 games before they even started the season. Then here comes 11 games, 12 games, whatever it was. Then come the playoffs. So total of 16, 18, 20. I was like, okay, I get to the Super Bowl. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so happy. It's almost over. Most people are celebrating. So guess what they asked me when the game was over? They said, Lee, how did you feel? I said, I'm glad it's over. Instead of enjoying it. But that taught me you have to enjoy the process because that process was so short. I mean, people think it's long, but it's the career for an NFL player is only 3 years at the most. But I was able to go 8. Thank God for that. But if you really look at it, that process was so quick and so fast. And what I'm saying, if we don't enjoy the process, sometimes we miss a lot of things. So in business right now, enjoy the process of what you're going through. Enjoy it. Sometimes you're sitting there, you're upset, you're sad, you're feeling bad, but enjoy the process because when you're focusing on the end, oh, my business is going to fail. Oh, I'm not going to do this. That actually stops you. But if you focus on the process, okay, what did I learn today from this? What did I take for this? And you see how all these things are growing in together for your growth. So all these things are growing in. Instead of focusing on the end, focus on the process. Number 8, we got 3 more. Rejoice in growth with others. Rejoice in growth with others. That's hard. Because you know, when somebody else wins, I know it's hard to rejoice. You're like, he's winning, why ain't I winning? Oh, they're winning, why ain't I winning? But actually what happens is when you can be happy for others that grow, guess what? You automatically start growing because they want to pour it over to you. A lot of people don't believe that, but they do. They want to pour it to you. They want to see you grow. So when you are happy for others and not this phony, oh, congratulations, good job. No, when you're like, good job, way to go. All right. That's what I'm talking about. When you're like that, you're rejoicing for others. Others look at that. They're all happy and they come over and say, hey, can I do anything for you? Can I help you? Because they want to return that back to you for you being grateful for them. So rejoice in the growth with others. So make sure that you are rejoicing with others in the growth that they have, and they'll rejoice back in yours. So rejoice in that. Number 9, be patient with growth. Be patient with growth. What is that? I'm probably the most impatient person there is. I can't stand in a line long. I don't like cars getting in front of me when I'm on the highway. But my wife had to tell me, Lee, you need to learn how to be patient. Because when you're patient, guess what? We may be in this traffic for a long time, but we get to talk. I said, no, honey, you get to talk because you like to talk. No, I'm just kidding. It's just kidding. But she taught me how to be patient, and patience stop the mistakes and stop the errors and stop the quick movement that was to move. And then I had to look at, man, I I'm actually enjoying the growth that I'm getting. And I was able to see it because I was patient in it and I was able to grow from it. And number 10, not last but not least, because it's not last because we have 10 more. Hopefully you call us back. We'll do 10 more. We'll finish those 10 more. Hopefully you're excited about this whole thing that I'm bringing to you today. Genius takes challenging work. Genius takes challenging work. Those who are normally defined as genius have not only talent, but also commit, drive, and persistence. Now, people say, oh, who's a genius? Every one of you are geniuses because just having the motivation to keep working through and keep going through what we're going through now, seeing that you want to keep running, keep in your community, keep running your businesses, and also with the Chamber of Commerce to keep things going, you are geniuses because guess what? That's what keeps us going, and it takes challenging work. That's what's before us. It just doesn't happen for everybody. Why were we made this way? We were born this way because that's where we were supposed to be. So as we go through this, these 10 things I want you to be able to take with you. And if you need a copy of them, we'll send you the 10 things that we just went over today. But I want you to look at this as growth. And this is what the NFL Alumni is looking at right now. We're looking at the growth. So we work on these things. So the main thing I want you to focus on is taking these things and making them active. Because guess what? If you take something, you ever seen, I said, okay, I need you to go build this table. So I give you a tool to go build the table, but you leave the tools on the floor. You'll never build the table because you won't pick up the tools to build the table. So what I'm saying in short is hopefully these tools that we're giving you, you can look at and you can understand that this is what we do in our community, the same thing that I'm talking to you about. We look for growth in our communities. We look for growth in our players. We look for growth in everyone that we team up with or we may partner with or someone who may sponsor an event. I mean, that's what we look for. So take one of these tools that you feel like meets you and meets you only and begin to put it into effect and let that tool be a growth for you. Because that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the developing growth mindset. That's what we want to do. Have that mindset of growth, enjoy that mindset of growth. And I guarantee you, once you take those steps, it'll be an excellent way to go. And just like I was a champion, you'll be a champion also. Thank you.
Lee, that was awesome. Thank you so much for taking that time to go over your 10 points. I'm looking in the chat, and a number of people have inquired about how to get this. So I know we will send this out to everyone that's on the call. And, we'll definitely make sure that, there's also an opportunity for within the chat at the end for people to ask their individual questions. This provides a great segue in what you've witnessed, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the biggest things that we are now changing and that we've now are rolling out within the NFL Alumni. We are piloting it in the Philadelphia market, the Philadelphia chapter, and we will, as we vet it to get absolutely 100%, then we're going to launch it nationally. And if we go to our next slide, I will share what that is. So, our new business development series will allow businesses, organizations, students, schools, the opportunity to engage directly with our players or our pro football legends in a live, online live webinar format. I think we just did that. We have the way the format would come out is basically about an hour presentation. So just imagine this whole hour, but just dedicated towards the cause of the concern of a business. Started off by a 15-20 minute conversation from a player, story from the huddle, the sideline, the locker room. I think Lee gave us a couple of different stories, especially speaking about the length of the season and the expectations of the season. And really at the end of it, what was the thought? And then it was, Lee spoke about, wow, he was glad to get 20 games over, but then, done with and get a Super Bowl. But now it was expected that, okay, you get this in your rookie year, this is going to happen year over year. And, that's always the goal for any team, to continue, this path of success. But, we know that, especially in professional sports, these types of situations where it's repeated year over year over year success isn't, doesn't happen everywhere. Fortunately, the 49ers are one team that has had tremendous success, pretty consistent through a period of time. So, and Lee was on many of those teams that had many of the household names that and so, we're excited to have that. But talking about the business development series in the second part, what we will be doing is tying this in with a professional business coach. And Lee is also a professional business coach. In some cases, he will be navigating all or part of these presentations as we roll them out into our Philadelphia chapter and Philadelphia market. But the business coach will basically take that story and extract it and make it relevant to what it is rather that your business needs, or what it is where your business could see development. And really, the way this whole thought came up was, excuse me, it was really a collaborative thought between Lee and I, that with the absence of not having the events that we share that we normally would have had, we had a whole calendar booked. And the question was, okay, now what's going to happen? What are we going to do? What can we create, or what can we work on that would be consistent, whether it be in a COVID situation, in a perfect world, being able to do it on a live webinar format, where I think we're all webinars, Zoomed and everything out. But, wouldn't it be nice to be able to get on a webinar with your company or your peers, and instead of the mundane, okay, sales numbers, okay, who's in attendance, having a Lee Woodall or a Seth Joyner or other former professional football players on that call and giving a story, and then tying it in with what's relevant to your business, so that that story just isn't what you might have seen or heard on a TV or a highlight, but you really got it from the person that was there. That's highly, it's a great opportunity to have that. And it's not just, it can go over a variety of different industries. It can be in sales, you can be in operations, we can talk about other business development, we can talk a whole different host of topics. I've been a business professional for over 30 years, and I've navigated a variety of different training programs, and I'm a 4-course Dale Carnegie graduate. So, I've had a little bit of exposure in some of this. So we're definitely looking forward to be able to curate some of these programs one-on-one for each individual company or organization. Next slide, please. So
I'll talk about the new NFL Alumni headquarters.
Yes, I was gonna toss that to you, Lee. Everything that's here came out of the press release, so there's nothing that's deviant that I made up. But I want you to talk about it, because really, as a former player, this is a huge piece for you guys. And I know you're excited, so let me back up and let you speak.
Yeah, we just announced that we're going to be down at the Hall of Fame. That's where all the NFL alumni players really want to end up, is at the Hall of Fame. And it's where, where the players are. That's where the retired players from the NFL go. That's where they go and get their yellow jacket, is in Canton, Ohio, and they are at the Hall of Fame. So what they decided to do, they decided to actually put the alumni, the NFL alumni, have an office, or no, more or less, more than just one office. It's a work it's like a workshop. So basically, we have offices, we have where we can do certain classes, have meetings. Of course, you can go down if you're a member of the NFL alumni. It's all these perks that come with it. It's a beautiful facility. If you haven't been to the Hall of Fame, I advise you to go. Put that on your bucket list to go down. you know, when you're a member of the NFL alumni, you actually get some more that comes with that. Once that whole facility is being built out and they're building it out, they're adding to what they have now. So they have a lot of community there. They're going to be reaching out to the community. But our New Jersey office is still going to be planted in New Jersey for now. We're going to have our corporate office there and in Ohio. So we're going to have both of those offices there. The one in Ohio is going to be more or less where players can go and run certain things, certain classes, advancing themselves, entrepreneurship. Maybe a business comes in and wants to talk about what they do. Things like that will be intertwined in there. Chance for you to go to Canton. Of course, they also have a hotel there, so they're going to build a hotel supposedly on the campus. They have all these plans, and they've already started, and they already have the money for it, you know. But it's a beautiful thing. It's actually going to be a beautiful facility. I know all the players and all the people that are part of the alumni will be invited down there when we do our grand opening. I mean, hopefully social distancing will be over. But if it is, we'll surely practice and be in our social distancing and have one of our NFL alumni face masks on, as you know. But it's a great part to be a part of, and you know, it's a part of our growth. And we're looking to team up because of those 37 chapters across the nation. We're looking to team up with people that actually make sense to us, and where we are just not the ones just going out. You know, it's one thing when you just have players who just show up, but I want players, we talk about players caring and it mattering to them, that when they show up to something, that they're getting the feel of what it's like. Because I can remember when I showed up to a couple events, and I've done charity before. I've done it when I was in the league, when I was out the league. Now we do it a lot with me and my wife and I. But one thing I did learn is that sometimes when I was in the league, it was just by showing up, and that was what we were supposed to do. So if you told me to go to this event, I would go. I would check off my list, make sure I smiled and did all that. But it really didn't give me the feel of what it was to be a part of a nonprofit and what it was to grow. I mean, I really didn't get that growth till after I got out the league, because I knew that that was a part of my job. So when I got out the league and I really started to dig in and I really started to get the feel, it changed my whole entire perspective of what nonprofit really means and what that work really entails, and feeding the homeless and you know, giving kids a smile and doing the Ronald McDonald House and doing events where people are coming together and gathering and just making a change in their life. And that's the biggest thing I got from it. I said, how can I change someone's life? And how also, and I want you to think about this, how also can you leave a legacy? It's not just a legacy with your business. We all think of leaving legacies with our business. We all use our money to do whatever we want to do to create a lifestyle for ourselves. But it's also leaving a legacy in the community. And I couldn't figure that out till I listened to a speech, and this was about Miles Monroe. And he's a pastor that was out of, and he, God bless his soul, he's deceased now. But one of the things he talked about, what will they say about you when you're gone? And I had to think about that. I said, will they just say I was an NFL player? Will they just say that, you know, he was a great player, he won the Super Bowl, I had to really think about that. And I had to say, man, I want more than that to be said. I want to make an impact that lasts. And it doesn't have to be my name on a building or this or that, but I want something that is impactful that people can play over and over again. Miles Monroe has been passed for years. 20 years or more, but I still listen to his speech. But so that's his legacy he's left. And that's what we need to think about. What legacy are we leaving? And can the NFL alumni help us leave that legacy? Or can we help you build the legacy that you are looking for? You know, that's the thing we're all about. We're all about the community. We're all about helping one another. But guess what? These relationships are synergistic. We don't want the one-sided relationship. We've had those. We understand that. And I'm sure you've had them. But we want those relationships that are synergistic, where you win, we win together. And all of a sudden, like I said, we're in the Super Bowl. But we got to win the Super Bowl, because then if you win, you don't get forgotten. If you lose, you might get forgotten. So we want to win, and I think that's what we're going after. And, you know, I'm excited about this headquarters in Canton, Ohio, because the Hall of Fame is beautiful. It's where it should be. It's also keeping it in New Jersey also is a key to us. And just allowing this to be a part of you once you become a member with us, or, you know, we're here to help you in any way. Like Michael was speaking about, he was speaking about the business workshops. I mean, there's so much that we can't go over right now, but we would love to show you and pour it out to you, because we're in the what you call joint venture. And I'm sure all of you have heard that term that's in business, joint ventures. You know, it's where it's almost like a referral program. You refer this person, refer this person. We're always looking for something that our players can get in, not just our players, but our cheerleaders and people in our community. I mean, those are the keys to building your network. And I'm not going to get into any of our stuff that we go, Michael. I know you don't want me to start going in there talking about networking leads and all this other stuff. I'm not going to go there. But I want you to just to be excited about it and understand that that's what it is. But I did want to make sure I answered one question from a person that did ask a question. I want to make sure that it's not overlooked. It was, who was the best player you have played with? There was many. The best players that I played with, of course, was Jerry Rice. I mean, hands down. Jerry Rice. I played with Deion Sanders. I played with Ricky Jackson, if you don't know who that is. These are guys that's on the Hall of Fame. I played with Richard Dent, God rest his soul. I played with a bunch of Hall of Famers. I mean, they thought I was so old when I got in the league, but I was young. It's just that I had a bunch of veterans that was on the same team as me. They're like, man, Lee, you must have. No, there was a bunch of veterans when I first got there. Steve Young, of course. And I'm going to give you a funny story. We line up Steve Young versus Joe Montana. Joe's at Kansas City, and this is the first year I'm a rookie. We played against each other. So I go to Kansas City, and I'm looking. I see Joe across there, and I see Steve. So, you know, of course, they're eyeing each other because of what goes on between players. So then, all of a sudden, I'm warming up because I warmed up. The linebackers warmed up near where the quarterbacks were. All of a sudden, I'm warming up, and I keep hearing this whistle. I'm like, do you guys hear that? And I'm like, it's something whistling. What is that? And so I turn around and I look, and all of a sudden, it was Joe throwing the football. It was Joe throwing the football. I can't believe it. It was Joe throwing the football. I was like, what? I said, this is going to be a long game. And then I looked in the backfield, and guess who was in the backfield for Kansas City? Marcus Allen. And I said, I am playing against two Hall of Fame guys, and yeah, happened to be, we was they were third in about 7, and guess what happened? The rookie gets exposed. Marcus Allen runs a flatten up, that's to the sideline and going up. Joe's at the quarterback spot. They throw the ball to Marcus Allen, who I'm running stride for stride. Marcus Allen never puts his hands up. At the end of the day, Marcus finally puts his hands up, and the ball just dropped. It fell. It's like it just dropped out of the sky and fell. People are yelling at me, screaming, Lee, come on. I'm like, hey, dude, don't worry about it. Hall of Famer. You can't beat that. What do you want me to do? So I learned quickly. Oh, yeah, and let's talk about Bart Oates. Of course, I played with Bart Oates, who is our national president. I played with Bart Oates. Oh, yeah, I love playing with Bart. Bart was a guy, first-class guy all the time. I mean, of course, he was on the opposite side, but playing with him, and he understood when I came in, and, you know, I had a nickname. I won't go into that nickname. It's a pretty good nickname. But playing with Bart Oates was tremendous. And then to come and be with him right now on the NFL alumni side, and he's the president, we just have so many stories. We just laugh, and, you know, when we get together and we do those things. But that guy, you got to love him. You got to love him. And he's done a lot for our organization. I mean, knowing that, and with Beasley and everybody, knowing that you have players who are there, who have an interest in their community, who are loving it. I mean, you know, that's the key. And to understand that leadership. You know, that's big and huge for us. I believe the next question going down, what was that question? Who is the hardest player to tackle? You really want me to tell you that story? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll give it to you. We're on the goal line. We're on the goal line. We're playing against Atlanta. Remember when Atlanta they were doing the Dirty Bird and everything else when they won their Super Bowl? Remember all that? Yeah. Okay. It was a long time ago. Yes. But we're on the goal line. And we already know that, they're doing the Dirty Bird and everything else. And I'm like, I don't care about the Dirty Bird. I'm going to take the Dirty Bird down. So Jamal is running the ball. He's running hard. I mean, this kid would run hard. I'm talking about hard. And all of a sudden, I was a linebacker. I square him up. I put my full force into him. Boom! And this is a national game. I got ran over. So, that one kind of was embarrassing, and it left the mark, and I haven't been able to live that down because all my friends called me right afterwards and was, talking about it, says they was putting it on highlights. I said, okay, I'm on highlight film today. Thank you, but I'm in the league. Another one, I'll give you another one, Emmitt Smith. I had a dream the night before we played Dallas, and when we played Dallas, I had a dream, and this is no lie, I had a dream that I was tackling Emmitt Smith in the open. It was just him and I. And we just happened to be playing Dallas the next day. I don't know why I dreamt it, but it was like I was there in my dream. And all of a sudden I seen him and I squared him up. And all of a sudden I came up, I squared him up, and boom, I made the play of the day, play of the century. It was everything. Well, get to the game, people. We get to the game, guess what? That same play came to reality. I was like, oh my God, am I dreaming or is this reality? I had to bring myself back. It was reality. So they throw the ball to Emmitt to the open in the flat. I'm right there. I'm literally squared up just like my dream. I'm like, oh my God. That's when the nightmare happened. Emmitt shook me. That means he dodged me left to right, did whatever he did. I was spinning around because I didn't want to fall. I was spinning around on one hand, missed the tackle. Emmitt runs for 30 more yards for a first down. So that dream was really a nightmare. It was not it didn't end the way that I thought it was going to end. And so, I've been hunting that person. I've been hunting that dream ever since then. No, I'm just kidding. But that's the guys I played against. We enjoyed it. And those are a few stories that I was going to give you. Thank you very much.
Lee, thanks so much for those stories. And, I'd put I know we had a lot of questions, so I'd put Q&A at the end, but I'm glad you got to it here. Meredith, if we can just move through a couple more slides. I think Lee talked well enough about the new headquarters coming up in Canton, Ohio. There's definitely information that you can find if you Google it online. That's certainly there. In summary, we want to say that we hope that we have answered, the who, how, and what about the NFL Alumni Organization and our endeavors, especially in the Philadelphia chapter. Our organization is on a mission to become a household name, but not just about football, but what we achieve outside the game. If you'd like to learn more about working with us and the different things that we have going on, reach out to me. Lee doesn't like to give out a cell phone number, but I'm pretty okay with that. You can reach out to me. I also want to show some next slide. Huh? I might put it out there just because. I want to offer some recognition and thanks because we do have a few NFL alumni members, some associate members that are members of CCSNJ who may be on this call. I think I know for sure Bob Kennedy, that everybody knows from Insperity. He's on this call. And this is a funny story. Bob Kennedy and Lee are alma maters from Westchester, but they never played at the same time. Their years didn't quite overlap, but they were able to share some great stories about the coaches and the different things that were going on at Westchester. I think we also have Janet Davis, who's known as Chef Janet, and she's also an associate member. Lee is much older. That's funny. That's from Bob. Janet Davis with Jade Consulting, Jamaican Grill, She's a great chef and has a big catering business coming up. We also have one of my other partners, Joe Cantina from Keller Williams, as an enterprise member. Other the enterprise members are Annie Mac Mortgage and Chris Garner from Trinity Solar. And then finally, we want to get to which should be the last slide here. Thank you to our folks at CCSNJ. Yes,
Yay!
thank you. Christina, Meredith, and Ann, thank you all for for really helping us put this together. We wanted to do this months ago, but obviously things changed. So we're really, really grateful. We're happy to be members of the CCSNJ, and we're looking forward to participating with other members of the organization and collaboratively with the NFL alumni. So Lee did all the Q&A. I think that's it, right?
Yes, that is it on my part. Oh, I also wanted to let you know that I will be signing autograph pictures, and I will make sure that you get them. Well, Michael will make sure that you get them. I will make sure I sign them. If you want your name on them as an individual or your kid's name, please let Michael know. Those should be done by next week. So if you let him know that if you want your child's name on there, whoever you want on there, I will sign those personally to them and make sure that you have those. But thank you so much. We appreciate it on behalf of the NFL Alumni Philadelphia chapter and on behalf of the NFL Alumni National chapter. We want to thank you so much. And we're looking forward to being a part of not just this just being now, but this being a chance for us to continue on as we go on.
Right on.
Thank you both so much. It's been such a great session, and it's such a nice way to spend a Friday. Thanks for coming and spending some time with us, updating our members on all the great work that the NFL is doing to help the community. I think the new development series is a really great resource for our members, so we'll make sure that we send out information for Mike so people can get in touch with you and connect on that. And of course, the information about the NFL Alumni Headquarters is such great news. Just a quick reminder to our attendees, we will be sending out an email later today. It will include a recording of this session. So I know some of you had asked about those 10 tips. You'll be able to watch it back and write those down if you didn't get a chance to today. We also will be sending a survey. We really appreciate any feedback that you want to provide. If you have any additional questions or comments that you want us to share with Lee and Mike, that would be a great way to do so as well. I just want to thank you both again. Such a great day. Thank you for everybody who's joined to listen today, and I wish everybody a great day and weekend. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.